Hello, folks. Now, yes, you read the title of this episode, and it's pretty clever. Well, I don't know if it's clever. I'm sure somebody's done it before. They combined the first two Pixar movie titles into one, A Bug's Life and Toy Story, and made A Toy's Life. Anyways, enough of the crap. So, before we start this episode, I want to explain something. I want to explain a few things, actually. So, today I searched for Kale-Void on YouTube just to check some stuff, and, well, the first thing that comes up when you search Kale-Void in the search bar is my channel. I want to make sure I won't come up with the original name that nobody's used before, or not that many at least, so that's what I did. So, yeah. But if you look, right there, a video called Kale-Void Meme. And, I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? So I watched the video. I wouldn't recommend watching it. It's a little creepy, but, I typed a comment on the guy's channel, and he was like, were you even aware of my channel when you made this video, dude? And he replied with like 3 scared emojis, and I'm like, dude, it's fine, really. Look, I don't care if you make videos of my videos, like reaction videos or whatever, but don't like try to steal my name. Don't like make another channel called Kale-Void. That's all I'm asking, basically. So, but I think I showed the video to my dad, and he was like, maybe his name is just Kale, and he's doing a Void meme, whatever that is. And looking through the other Void memes, they had pretty creepy thumbnails, so this must be some sort of creepy trend or something. Yeah, not safe. But anyways, so with that said and done, all the video was just him holding a piece of bread, like, and with creepy images in it. So, what does that have to do with me? I don't know. Maybe, I just don't think he was aware of my channel when he made that. But anyway, so, alright. Now, we're going to do something a little bit different in this episode. Sorry, I got distracted. So, I have a lot, and I mean a lot, of crap to talk about in this episode. So much so that I decided to take notes, which is the first time I've actually done that. Because I don't want to leave out anything important. It's that detailed. So I have a feeling this is going to be a really long episode. Of course, time will tell, but... So I have a little thing up on my computer, a little notepad, and I basically did all the topics that we're going to talk about in this episode. You read the title, so it's going to be about Toy Story. But... yeah, so if this isn't much of a pace breaker, like if I can do this without getting too distracted, I might continue to do this through future episodes. It really depends, so we'll just have to wait and see. Okay. Alright, so with that said and done, let's just start with the actual episode. Now, Toy Story 4 came out last year. A lot of people are like, why? I'm personally okay with it, and we'll get to why that isn't later. But I think now's the best time to end the franchise for good. No more sequels. That's it. Because it's only going to keep getting more stale if we continue down this road. I mean, if they make a Toy Story 5, it's going to harm Pixar, and it's going to harm the Pixar fans. World War III will start, and I'm just kidding, but it's really not a good idea. Really not a good idea. They need to stop now. I legitimately had a nightmare that I saw a trailer for Toy Story 5, and it was legitimately a bad dream. Like, it was not a good dream. And to think that there's a possibility that it might become a reality is just frightening. Maybe it's not frightening, but I just really hope they don't do it. There's really no point. It's just a waste of time. I mean, Pixar can continue to make movies, just not Toy Story movies. Like, if they got, like, I saw on the trailer for Onward, some guy in the comments was like, I can't wait for the sequel, what was it, Forward, or what, something like that. And I replied, or some guy replied to the guy saying, he said that Pixar isn't doing sequels anymore. And I was like, that's not correct. They are just taking a break from doing sequels. They will continue to make sequels in the future, more than likely. That doesn't mean they won't make another sequel ever again. But if they are going to make a sequel to one of their IPs, please don't let it be Toy Story. That story's been told. The Toy Story story is finished. And I don't know. I mean, now, let's go back to about 25 years ago when there was not a bunch of Toy Story sequels to begin with. The first Toy Story movie was very revolutionary for its time. It was the first computer animated film, meaning that it was made with a computer and not just hand-drawn frame by frame. I'm sure they still drew like drafts and stuff, but overall most of the work was done with a computer. The character models and the environments were all 3D. So, you know, this is pretty momentous for 1995. And it was a good story. John Lasseter wanted to make sure that it wasn't just the visuals that were pleasing. They wanted to make sure it was a good story as well. They understood that, and so that's what they did. They spawned 2 excellent sequels and an average third sequel. Now, so they've made 4 films, and I think that's plenty. Like, seriously, I try to think of a good plot for Toy Story 5. Like, there is none. I'm drawing a blank here. There's literally nothing they can do. Like, now this is going to be spoiler alert for Toy Story 4, but the movie's been out for a year, so I really don't think it matters too much. It's been out for a year today, actually. Well, this year was a leap year, so maybe it's been out 366 days. Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. Basically, June 21st of last year was when Toy Story 4 came out. Now, at the end of Toy Story 4, Woody goes to be with Bo Peep at the carnival, and he leaves the gang. Okay. So, Woody and Buzz are no longer together. That's the perfect place to stop. If they make a 5th one, like, how would that even work? Like, do they just, like, reunite or something? Like, it's just, there's no point. I think the story has been told. It's just getting old at this point. We all know what happens when there's an animated series that has, like, 4 sequels. You get Ice Age, and we all know how that turned out, so there are more Ice Age sequels than there are, like, there's double the amount of Ice Age sequels than there are Incredibles films in total. Whoa. It's obviously their most beloved IP, but that doesn't mean that they need to keep milking this crap. Now, some people would even say that Toy Story 3 didn't need a follow-up. They just said... they probably should have just ended it at Toy Story 3. And you know what? I probably agree that that was the best place to stop. But I'm okay with them squeezing in one more sequel. Just one. They just barely have enough room to do that. Sorry, I'm trying to find where I am on my notes here. Because, think about it, like, okay, sorry, you getting distracted. So at the end of Toy Story 3, Andy gives his toys to Bonnie. But I can still see it continuing after that. Like, it's still possible for there to be another sequel after that. I can still see something happening. There was no Andy in Toy Story 4, but do we really need Andy, honestly? Like, he was a pretty big part of the first 3, but I don't know. Alright. Now, there's no plot. I can't think of one good plot for Toy Story 5. Especially since the last one was just average at best. The last movie. So, and that's not the only reason why it would be bad for them to make a Toy Story 5. Voice actors like Jim Varney, I think is his name, and Don Rickles have passed away since the first film. So, people die. Okay? I know, it's shocking, but people die. It's just reality. So, if they were smart, they would know there might be more voice actors that die between the 4th film and the 5th film, which will never exist, by the way. I hope to God. It's just... Like, what they did for Toy Story 3 when Jim Varney passed away, he did Ernest in those Ernest movies, but when he died after Toy Story 2, they just found a replacement for him for Toy Story 3, and it worked out pretty well. I don't remember what his name was, but his voice sounded very similar to Jim Varney. Was it Jim Varney? I think it was. Anyways, so... Now, Don Rickles passed away in between Toy Story 3 and Toy Story 4. And, well, Potato Head didn't have that much screen time in Toy Story 4 anyway. In fact, he probably only had like one scene, like the scene where Rex hits him in the back and his facial features fall off or something. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie in a while, so I can't remember. But anyways... Now, it's not just me who's tired of Toy Story. It's a bunch of people. We just want it to end already. Okay? The best ending was Toy Story 3, but an also good ending would have been Toy Story 4. I'm okay with you making a 4th Toy Story movie, but it probably would have been the best decision, probably would have been to just end it at 3 altogether. Now, Tom Hanks was stuck in Australia for a while because of the coronavirus, and since he couldn't go to the airport because he had the virus, he just had to be in Australia for a while. So obviously, I think he's home now, but obviously he just needs to rest right now. He's tired of being in Australia. He needs to rest, and he just needs to take it easy. So you don't need to be demanding him for, oh, we're going to make a Toy Story 5, you're going to be the main voice. No. No. Just stop. Okay? Now, Toy Story 4 is, without a doubt, the weakest of the whole series. Some people would say, like, the reviews of the movie were just as good as the first 3, but let's be honest, it wasn't really that good. I'd consider it average. There were definitely some parts I didn't like about the movie. There were some good parts, but there were also some parts I didn't really care for. For example, that part where Bonnie's dad, or I don't know his name, but the toys were messing with his car, and he kept going and stopping and going and stopping, and it was attracting a bunch of cops and stuff. And when he finally did stop, the cops were like, "Sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to step out of the vehicle." We could have gone without that because I think I kind of have a police phobia or something. I know they're really good guys, a lot of them are, but still though, I think we could have gone without that, because their idea was the unicorn, whatever his name was, is we were trying to get the dad in jail or something, and but you don't know how bad jail is until you're actually there. I've seen reality shows about it, and that's enough for me to be like, hell no. So, yeah. Okay. Now, also, about Toy Story 4. It doesn't start like the first three do. Each of the first three films begin with some sort of playing segment. The first one begins with this bank robbery thing where Mr. Potato Head robs the bank. The second one begins with Rex playing some Buzz Lightyear video game, and the third one is a fantasy world where where Woody is on a train or something, I don't know. Okay, Toy Story 4 has no such thing. You can tell that they're getting pretty low on ideas here. And also this isn't as important, but the first three films had kind of had a cool intro or a logo introduction, but the fourth film didn't. It was average. It wasn't groundbreaking, the fourth film, but it's definitely not on the same level as the first three. Alright, now, maybe they made Toy Story 4 just so they can introduce the fork, how anything can be a toy, that gimmick, anything can be a toy if there's enough love and stuff or something, I don't know. But did they really need a whole other sequel just to introduce that concept? Couldn't they have just made one of those TV specials like Toy Story of Terror or freaking Toy Story That Time Forgot? Did they really need a whole 100-minute film just to introduce the fact that plastic sporks can be animate creatures just like toys can? I don't think they did. Speaking of Forky, why is he called Forky? He's a freaking spork. What is that crap? Excuse me. Well, you gotta keep in mind that Forky was made by Bonnie when she was in kindergarten. And I'm pretty sure kindergartners don't know what sporks are. At least a lot of them don't. So, my guess is that when she saw it, she immediately thought, oh, this is a fork, I'm going to call it Forky. But no, it's not they're not going to know the difference. It's a fork to her, so that's why it's called Forky. So that's, Alright, so we're almost done here, but I gotta mention one more thing. About Andy, and this is the first film, so we're basically done with, the Toy Story 4. But remember CinemaSins when they were like, how old is Andy supposed to be? How old is Andy? I mean, unless he's 6 years old, there's really no excuse for him to be writing in such crappy ways. He should know how to spell school. He should know he should know that school doesn't have a K in it. He should know not to have backwards letters, stuff like that. Well, I once had a Toy Story DVD where the back said that Andy was 6 years old. So there you go. Alright. In conclusion, Toy Story 5 does not need to come out. It would be pretty bad if it did. Would I still go see it? I'd probably still go see it, but I'm not going to be surprised if the movie doesn't turn out to be that good. And if they do make Toy Story 5, then the damage has been done. So why stop there? Why not make like 10 more sequels after that? Alright. So this whole notes while doing the episode actually worked out pretty well, so I think I might do that from now on. But I will see you guys in the next episode. But I will not. I might see you in the next Toy Story movie, depending on if I'm in the mood for more of that crap, which I'm really not. But anyways, I'm wasting time. So goodbye.